This is The Daily Show with Trevor Noah.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Trevor Noah, and this is The Daily Show. I mean, I know it looks different than when we left, because we have a brand new studio here in Times Square. You see, I actually would have kept doing the show from my apartment, but then I started to have problems with the Wi-Fi, and I decided that building an entirely new studio was easier than calling Spectrum. So here we are, It is a little different, and people are still like wearing masks and trying to stay safe, and so it's not socially distant, it's just sort of, distant, I guess. So it's like the daily sort of distancing show. Trademark that. Anyway, today is Monday, September 13th. And Saturday, as you know, was September 11th, the 20th anniversary of the 2001 attack on the United States. And I know it was a somber occasion, but personally, I found it uplifting as well. It's actually inspiring to remember how things can be when people all come together with a single purpose to help each other. And also, it's just interesting to look back 20 years and see how much things have changed. I mean, for example, 20 years ago, Rudy Giuliani was America's mayor, projecting calm and sobriety when the country needed it most. But at Saturday's commemoration, Giuliani was not that.
I don't want to sound like a name dropper, but I told this to the Queen of England. She said, you did a wonderful job on September 11th, and therefore I'm making you an honorary knight, commander of the Royal something or other. I turned down a knighthood because if you took a knighthood, you had to lose your citizenship. I know Prince Andrew is very questionable now. I never went out with him. Ever. Never had a drink with him. Never was with a woman or a young girl with him. Ever. One time, I met him in my office, and one time when we had the party, right, Bernie? You were there. You weren't there? Oh, shit.
Oh, man. How only Rudy can spend the 9/11 anniversary talking about the time he hung out with Jeffrey Epstein's alleged pedophile friend. Your speech went off the rails when people watching it are like, I wish this guy would talk more about 9/11. What is he doing? I mean, my favorite part of this whole thing is how Rudy Giuliani can't even get his story straight while he's telling it. I never once met Prince Andrew. Never. I mean, yeah, one time we hung out in my office and we had that party that time. Bernie remembers that, don't you? Don't you, Bernie? I mean, I don't know who Bernie is, but I bet he and his wife had a very long car ride home. But it turns out Rudy wasn't the only politician observing the day. Yeah, President Biden went to the World Trade Center with former presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton and George W. Bush, who gave a really beautiful and inspiring speech about unity and democracy. I mean, don't get me wrong, he skipped the pages about opening torture chambers and invading random countries that had nothing to do with 9/11. But aside from that, it was a beautiful, beautiful speech. And while that's the way, the traditional way for former presidents to commemorate 9/11, there's one president who's never been about the traditional.
During a visit with firefighters to commemorate the 20th anniversary of 9/11, former President Donald Trump repeated the false claim that he won the 2020 election.
We won the election, but what are you going to do? We are fighting like hell, and we're going to keep fighting.
Trump then left for Florida, where he provided commentary for a pay-per-view boxing match.
Now let's see what happens with the scoring.
Yeah, this is boxing. You never know who's going to win until it's official.
It's like elections. It could be rigged. I've seen some of them, too.
Yeah. Donald Trump spent 9/11 doing live commentary for a boxing match. How is this his life? Like, how is he doing? Sometimes I think Donald Trump is just a Make-A-Wish kid who never died. I want to be on TV. Anything you want, big guy. Now I want to be President of the United States. I mean, sure, I guess. Now I want to be a boxing commentator. Shouldn't you be dead by now? How old is this kid? Where did we get him from?